Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It has been absolutely ages since I did a video. It's a bit laughable really. So I've got a bit of time now. I'm waiting for some paint to dry. I thought I'd do a quick video, another progress update video. This will probably be the last one before I do a full sort of van tour because there is now some serious light at the end of the tunnel. It has been an incredibly long process, but it's finally really starting to come together. Did a few nights away in the van last week just to make sure everything's still working because the van had been sat doing nothing for about 5 months. So yeah, I'll just sort of walk around what I've done since the last progress update video, talk you through what I've done, how I've done it. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is the folding seat that I've put in next to the doorway. This was actually really easy to do. It's got a proper seat belt and everything. It is literally 4 bolts through the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Steel plates on the top side, and then I'll show you underneath. There's some plates on the bottom as well. Where are we? Yeah, so that is what it looks like on the underside. I wasn't able to get those bolts. Obviously I think you'd have it through the middle hole. Wasn't able to get that through, just to get it through the middle hole on all of them. Obviously that would be the best case scenario, but it went through the MOT like that fine. So yeah, the idea of that is just to add a 4th seat. The van sleeps four, so 2 at the back, 2 on the pull-out bed here. So there's obviously 3 seats in the front there, and then the 4th seat here. So the van can transport and sleep 4. Yep, you might have noticed my window frame style kind of look through to the cab. It needs a little bit of refining, as you can tell by how stiff that is. Yeah, so I decided to keep the bulkhead, but because I've got that 4th seat in here, I didn't want the person sat in here to be completely closed off from the people in the front, and also it is sort of an extra source of natural daylight. So I wanted a window in the bulkhead, so cut that out, and then to make it look nice and pretty on this side, I've created this wood frame just with some, made some simple mitre cuts, and then I've using the table saw, because I bought a table saw. That's a good investment. I've just cut these slots, so there's one fixed piece of perspex and then a sliding bit, so you can close and open as required, passing through, chat, etc, etc. And then when I was mounting this, so you can see that edge looks nice and flush there. Basically there's strips of ply that run there, across there, all the way around. I've then routed out a section in the back of this and then stuck this frame onto the strips of ply which are screwed to the bulkhead. So let's move up, and I think this was in the last video, but I hadn't painted it. So yeah, it's just a fascia board really. Might as well talk about the painting in the van now. I've gone for like this distressed effect. So essentially what you do, you paint an undercoat of a darker colour, so I chose a grey, then you paint white on top, and then you sand down various points to give it this distressed effect. And then on this side, I haven't got around to this side yet, but on this side I've just lacquered over the top of it to protect it, because the paint I've used is I can't remember what it is, but it's like a chalky type paint. So you kind of rub your hand on it, might even do it now a bit, and it'll sort of come off on your hand a bit. So to seal it and make it a lot easier to clean, I've just put some lacquer over, or I will put it everywhere. And it actually just brings out the wood as well and makes the distressed areas pop out of the white, which is really good. So if we work our way round, got the fascia board on the bulkhead there. I've just added this trim down here just to tidy up that edge. Worth saying now, all of this pine will be oiled so that it makes it go a bit darker, and it'll hopefully be a nice contrast between the white of all the ply bits and then the pine, which will be a bit darker. Yeah, so attached to this fascia board, I think this shelf was in last time, but I don't think the doors are on. So yeah, it's just got three cabinets, bit of storage space. You can see it's pretty simple construction. There's a base plate and then these dividers, which are then screwed in with pocket holes to these battens, which are attached to the walls. That's basically all that holds it up. This fascia board is giving it quite a lot of strength as well, because it's screwed to the fascia board at this end as well. And then you can see I've just got hinges, magnetic catches. I do need to install, I've got some gas struts for these three, still need to install those, but yeah, that gives a nice lot of storage space. Oh, some almonds. Share a little cubby here, and I've just been working on this recently, so I didn't want these cupboards to stick out. Let's give you a bit of context, to stick out as far as the microwave, so I wanted like to introduce a curved edge. So I've just been building up this kind of lip on the cupboard there, just with a few bits of 18mm ply, but yeah, I think that's going to look quite cool once I've got that all sanded nice and flush and oiled that. I quite like the exposed ply, so there's a few areas around the van where I'm just going to leave it as an exposed ply edge, and I think once it's got a bit of oil on there, and you can see sort of the different layers will pop out and it'll look quite cool. Yeah, I think this was in the last video. The microwave was installed. Just tidied this up a bit really, put a bit of trim on the front lip of that shelf there, and then under here, just been working on this in the last couple of days, got a cheeky little wine rack. So I haven't road tested this yet, but yeah, it's just a ring at the back, and then this recess for the neck of the bottle just sits in there, so that, in theory, it might bounce around a bit, but I can't see it jumping up that high and then coming out. Just can't see that happening, so hopefully that'll be nice and secure. Moving further around, this is my little wardrobe. I sourced some wooden Tambour doors. A lot of like professional conversions use plastic Tambour doors or maybe aluminium. I wanted to stick with the natural materials, i.e. wood. So yeah, I saw some wooden Tambour doors. I will actually put a link down in the description to where I got these from, because they're a good company that supplied these. Got another one down here under the sink actually. So I think that looks rather good. And then in here, there's some electrical connections here. So I've just built up these battens with grooves in, and then I've got some, they're in the garage, but just some panels that slot in here and cover up and protect the back of these electrical connections on both sides. And then up the top there, you've got a rail and some hangers. And then down here I've just chosen to stick a fire extinguisher, and I'll mount this fire blanket somewhere. But yeah, really pleased with how the Tambour door works. This one's a little stiff, so there's a maximum amount of door that you can fit on a coil. Use these plastic spiral, they're called plastic spirals, and it's 750mm, which this is kind of at the limit, so it operates nice and smoothly, kind of the first half to 2/3, and it gets a bit stiff and you have to roll it on by hand, but you know, it's not really a problem. It still works. Use it as a little wardrobe. And it's a good little divider between the living space and the bedroom as well. So let's close that. Oh yeah, I added this little step just to make it easier to get up into the bed, because it's quite high up. It's a bit of a pain in the arse to get up, but that makes a big difference. Now, none of these cabinets were installed when I did the last video, so I've got those on both sides. And they run the length up to the door on that side. So yeah, really simple storage cabinets. These are a little bit stiff, these doors, and need refining. Let's look at the ones on the other side because they work a bit better. But yeah, I kind of couldn't be bothered to make cupboards with doors like those, because once you factor in the hinges, the magnetic latches, the gas struts, it's just a lot of work and faff, and actually having to open them up when there isn't a lot of room. So I thought sliding doors might actually be a better option, and it's worked out really well. So all I've done is, again using the table saw, just cut some slots the thickness of this ply, one on the top and bottom, and then those doors just run in those. Gives you a load more storage. So yeah, pleased with that. A few little, just a little nook for your phone or whatever, and then obviously I think all the lights were wired in last time. So that's all that's really changed in the bed area. It's now got this storage. And again, these are the same construction as those cabinets in the front, just these panels with the pocket screws going onto the battens. I just added these little feature rings to open and close them. Another little cubby here just for storing things. Oh yeah, this is worth noting. Decided to trim this plinth in the worktop material, the oak worktop, because it's a constructed or manufactured piece of oak, i.e. there's lots of little sections stuck together. I found that it's just not a good material to work with. I did try and use it on the bulkhead window frame and had similar issues, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to do little woodworking touches with that. What else has changed in the kitchen? I think this was here before. I've now just routed a slot in here for drainage, so you can kind of wash up on this side of the sink, put stuff there, and it will drain in without water just running off onto the floor, which was what was happening before. Tiling was in. I don't think this trim bit was on, I'm not sure, but yeah, really stoked with how that looks. Need to give that a good oil. Again, more cabinets up here. These are a bit deeper. Commissioned a bit of van artwork. My sister made me that. It's pretty cool. This obviously needs tidying up, but within this cabinet, you probably see this is actually heating ducting. That attaches to a little extractor fan that I've put above the hob. So that's that. Made a little kitchen roll holder the other day. Installed a light under here. That's pretty much it for the kitchen. Oh, there's drawers now. So this is what, I'll show you what the front of the kitchen unit looks like. We've got a big pan drawer here. Again, everything needs refining, as you can see it's a bit tight against that drawer there, but yeah, that's for all like your big bits of kitchen equipment. Under here, I'm going to have a bin here, and then just other random kitchen stuff. Cutlery drawer, which we need to put some dividers in. and then like a pantry drawer underneath the fridge here. And then there was this gap above the door which looked pretty untidy. So I just made like a cubby there, which is, I'm actually really stoked to. It's really handy for just sticking like sunglasses, what's this, little fire alarm, and you need to install that properly. But yeah, just really handy for storing odds and sods. Oh, the other thing I spent a long time on, so I decided in all my wisdom to put like a conventional blind, roller blind in on this side, because I didn't really like the van curtains that you can buy. I thought it looked a bit naff. So that kind of meant I had to do the same on this side, which I've got, but then that meant I didn't have to, but to make that look tidy, I then created this kind of window boxing on this side with a windowsill, and then the blind is just contained within here. But yeah, I think that actually looks really smart. And yeah, I just really don't like those curtains. And then if we go round to the garage of the van, as I call it, yesterday I've just boxed the fridge in, and so the fridge and the pantry door, that's the back of that, and then just painted this white with a gloss because I was kind of reusing old ply. It looked really scabby, well, you can see there, reusing some old ply. So yeah, just giving that a fresh look, coat of paint, and that looks quite smart. These are the doors. So we've just got a ply with some carpet on the bottom, and then some tongue and groove on the top. And then at the back here, again, some tongue and groove. And this here is for the shower outlet. So you can see all the plumbing, which isn't quite done. I'm just waiting for some Jubilee clips to arrive in the post. So now people are probably instantly going to go, well, have you got electrics and plumbing mixed or whatever? But you know, it's a sealed outdoor socket. And then, yeah, it's got some fittings for an outdoor shower, which I think is in this box somewhere. So yeah, just if you want to rinse the dog down or been in the sea and want to rinse off with fresh water, got a hot and cold mixer. So thanks for watching. That was kind of a whistle-stop tour of what I've done over the last couple of months. There isn't much more to do now. Obviously the cushions aren't in at the moment, but they're all done. So really it is final little finishing touches, like adding stuff like this. There's a few more bits that I want to do, so there might be some videos on that soon. And then painting and oiling, lacquering, just protecting the wood, and that's it really. So the end is nigh. Finally, it's been over a year since I started this project. But yeah, very, very close to completion now. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new here, then welcome to the channel. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. And yeah, if you've got any questions about anything that I've done, obviously more than happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. Cheers.